Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Endless Celts Podcast, a very special edition, the UEFA Champions League draw, the watch along, boys. We're finally doing it. How you feeling?
I'm like
Good,
a
mate.
coiled spring, mate. I've not been able to settle at work all day. I'm all over the place. I'm a bit of a mess, buzzing, but I can't wait to go. I'm buzzing for this. I've never ever, guarantee you, never ever sat down with my mates, a couple of beers, watching the draw. It's fucking brilliant, man. Come on the hooks.
Absolutely buzzing. And as well, we signed Haksabanovic today on a 5-year deal. Haksabanovic. What a tune. But Ross, you've come in late, bud. How you feeling? My nerves are shot, to be honest.
Oh, I've been running a bit like a blue-arsed flea. But no, I'm really looking forward to this. What is it? 5 years in the waiting.
2017,
Just
I think,
excited to find out who we get, and I hope we give it a real good go. Whoever we get, I quite believe we will.
100%. People's already in. Wayne O'Driscoll's in. Stevie Boy, Say67, Studs, Paul Dad, Ryan Taylor, Kevin Gallagher. Great to see us. And also, again, a Super 6 update. Francis is still top. We need to find a way to get him off this leaderboard. It's absolutely shocking. It's mental. His points does keep it up. But John, coming to yourself, I mean, I know you've got some things going on in the background, but how you feeling about this draw and who we could get potentially?
I'm buzzing, mate. I'm happy with whoever. Like it's just exciting, isn't it? It's just one of the things. It's like we all love this this time of year when you get the draw, the excitement around about it. There's a wee bit in there because it's like there's some massive teams that we could potentially get, but regardless, I'm happy. You kind of want the big glamour ties as well, eh?
Yeah, I do want them. I don't want us to shy away from them, Willie. And I know we were speaking obviously previously in our group chat and stuff, and there was different opinions in groups and what teams would be strong. But I wouldn't mind a Real Madrid or an Inter Milan AC. It's just to bring back that kind of Champions League heritage back to Celtic Park and try and compete with the best. Where do you stand on it?
Yeah, 100% agree, mate. You're in with the elite. You want to play the elite and see and compete and see where you are. I know, however you look at it, I know there's people looking at the draw and there's certain. Well, there's no easy draw. Let's face it. Everybody we're playing is elite clubs. So, but I know there is an easier side of the draw, and a lot of people would rather we got an easier side. For me, I want big teams. A mix of the two. I'd like one massive team, and then another two that'll give us the chance of qualifying, hopefully. But yeah, that's what we're in it for. The big ties. That's what the players play for. And I'm right behind Ange and the boys. I think we're going to have a few surprises this year. I think we'll shock a few.
Yeah, Stevie Boy's in here early with the compliments to us guys. This is the #1 pod now, mate. 100% love that comment, Stevie Boy. Coming to you, Ross. I mean, there are people in the comments already saying that they're not fearing anybody, and I think it's the case of you're thinking the previous years we're going there to make up the numbers and things like that. No, we got slapped about by PSG and Barcelona in times go by. But me personally, I don't want to see that no more. I want to see the fear factor go back to Celtic Park. I want to see us challenge to compete, and you kind of have to go back to Neil Lennon first expel in charge, beating Barcelona, Gordon Strachan with the famous wins against Milan, teams like that, and then back to Martin O'Neill. It'd be good to get back to that type of level again, wouldn't it, on the ranch?
Oh well, that's the goal, whether that comes again, it all depends who we get, but whether that comes a wee bit early in the journey under Ange this time around, time will tell. But in terms of the draw, I would love like a Real Madrid or somebody like that, or a Liverpool, or even a Spurs. I would like an English team, but I think that if we don't get like a top level team like a Real Madrid, a Liverpool, or that, then you're not wanting an in-betweeny like a Porto or something like that. And I'm not saying Frankfurt are a bad team by any stretch, but you would like somebody maybe like that for pot one if you don't get that top level team. But again, it's going to be great whoever we get, buzzing for it.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in? I'm going to jump in with a John Tomlinson rant, right? So set your timers just in case the draw starts before I finish, right? But like, obviously, there's a lot of talk about we're not fearing anybody, and then the opposite, like we want an easier draw and whatever not. And I've been seeing a lot last night, and a lot in our group chat that as well. but mostly on Twitter and stuff like that about how the side across the city get it done in Europe, and we need to do that, and we need to bring this back and all the rest of it again, right? This club is in a goodest place it's ever been in my living memory, anyway. And we've got a top manager. No, a top manager. And we've got, with the recruitment that he's in the last year and the squad he's building, we've got a top team now, I believe. And back when we were competing and Celtic Park was a fortress, we didn't have the best players in the world. All these teams that were coming had far better squads than us. There's two reasons why we competed back then. The first one is we've got the best fans in the world, and they'll still always be there. They'll still be the 12th man, and people hate coming to our stadium and getting behind. We get behind the boys that much. That's never going to waver. That's never going anywhere. And the second one's mentality. We've had coaching staff. Martin O'Neill was great at it. Strachan was great at it. We didn't have the best players and the best teams, but they had these players believing they could beat these teams because of their mentality. They're going to go in here. Listen, they're coming in here. This isn't. We're not making this easy for them. You're better than them. You can compete with them. Go out and play it. Ange has that in abundance. He'll make people feel like they're 10 feet tall. He's brought back the thunder, as to say, and he's brought back the passion and the relationship with the fans. All of that combined means, for me, I think we're good enough to compete here, and I think we're going to go and give it a good go this year. So bring it on, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. I mean, that was a great rant. You know, not a rant typical of John, but it was good for the positivity and stuff like that. And Ryan Kelly has come in here saying, updating the draw coverage, please. It hasn't started yet. We'll keep you updated with that. They're just going through some of their kind of build-up and stuff, famous ex-players and that, and kind of on that subject. I know.
Listen,
John,
by the way, just before you continue, Stephen, I know Ryan's just came in there and says he can't get a stream yet. It's streaming free on YouTube and that. UEFA TV streaming it. There's loads of places you can get it, mate. See, if you just type it in on YouTube, you'll probably catch BT Sport or streaming it. So,
are you all streaming it? Are you all watching it? Got it on the now?
I've got it on.
I've got it on as well.
I've not got it on yet. I'm going to try and get it.
For the premise of the show, I think it was a good thing to have it on for.
Aye, but remember I joined late. Remember, I thought it was maybe only one of these had it.
It's probably thrown off because you've not got a beard anymore, Stephen, and you look about 12 years younger.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
The cat has liked it off.
I like it. I wanted it off. It didn't feel good the other day. I just whipped it off, and I feel much better about myself.
Stick your head out the window of the car on the way home.
I did. Make the windows, use that for the sides. Just scraping it down. But here, John, Pete, as you are doing, rightly so, that they're kind of draw build up with ex-players and stuff. I know we're doing the Champions League rewinds of Anthony, so I don't want to take much thunder away from him when he's going to be hosting again. But tell me a player who you think in your lifetime played against Celtic has impressed you so much, like in terms of world-class player on the pitch.
That's played against us?
Yeah, someone, I know, like someone that stood out, you're like, wow, unbelievable.
Man, there's so many. The teams that we've faced over the years as well. Kaká, Inzaghi, Pirlo.
Kaká was the first one that came to my mind, mate, because he ran the show when he came.
Aye. Del Piero, Nedved. I could sit here for ages just rhyming off fucking world-class players that we've come up
against.
I want
you to tell me one. Not a list.
Probably.
One.
The first one that came to my head was Kaká. Like, he was absolutely unreal. And Pirlo. Yeah, that's two. You're getting two.
Jed Thomas, Stephen got his beard fixed.
Still hear it, man. Jed, we'll all be getting on grief for it today.
Honestly,
it's terrible, man.
We've even told, like, see if you don't want to actually replace the battery, just take it out for the duration of the show, then put it back in.
The mad thing is, it actually takes more effort to shave than it does to take a battery off.
And to think I rushed back for work for this shit. But Willie, I mean, John's right.
He's glowing, Merrill. He's glowing.
I'll sit back here. Can you hear me if I speak like this?
Yeah.
I'll just
Kaká, the times he played against Celtic where he was incredible. And I think Neil Lennon, I think we all know he should have wiped him out that time instead of trying to go for him and match him stride for stride. But in terms of a team, let's not try and turn this into a farce, lads. In terms of a team, Willie, if there's one team you want to avoid, who would it be in this draw and why?
I don't think there's anybody I would want to avoid, to be honest with you, mate. Like I said, I'm quite happy to play, want to be putting us up against the best. That's why we're here. And love the glamour ties. And like I said, I think that the position we're in now, I feel like we can go and compete. So there's no anybody I'd like to avoid per se. I'm not afraid of anybody.
A PSG, a City, no?
I would prefer. Well, no, I don't. Well, aye, more out of the fact that we've played them in years gone by. I love a Real Madrid, and I think that's the general consensus because we've never, in recent memory anyway, we've never played them in European competition, and they're the reigning European champions. So I think if it was anybody to pot one, I would love to see us getting Real Madrid. That's my point of Alistair. I wouldn't mind missing out Barca because I'm sick of seeing them as well. Real Madrid's the big draw, and I think that's been the general consensus. I know Calmac and all the rest were saying as well. A lot of the players, when they've been asked who would they like, that's the main draw. They're the reigning European champions, and that's who we want to play. Saying that, I know I said we want to put ourselves up against the best, but if we get a draw like Real, Liverpool, and Inter, the group of death, it's going to be some viewing.
Curtains.
Stephen Culver's come in here, hurry up the draw again. We're waiting as well, like everyone. I think they're starting to get ready for it. What I can see, they were on the stage talking to some ex-players and that. But coming to yourself,
I'll just let you relay to me because I can't get it on my phone. I don't know what to do. I'm shite with that.
There has been a few people in the comments saying they want European football after Christmas, which is fair enough. So for you, obviously, I know we're talking about no fear and all the equivalent of groups of deaths and things like that. But me personally, if I stand a chance, I don't want to be fighting for third place all the time. I'm fighting to drop into the Europa League and kind of coming off scraps of points, maybe 1 point here and there. I want to be challenging. So what would be a successful campaign in the Champions League for you, looking at it as a Celtic supporter?
Well, again, it all depends on the draw. But right now, answering that question, I think getting third is a success. I understand you want to reach higher. You want to push to your maximum, to your ceiling that you can get. I would love to get through to the last 16, but it's going to be a difficult task, whoever we get. Very difficult. I would take third in European football after Christmas, but again, that depends on the group that we get. Because if we get I don't know, Frankfurt, Sporting Lisbon, and whoever's in the other pot, I can't mind, then you'd be looking at trying to finish first or second in that group. But if we get Real Madrid, Liverpool, fucking Inter Milan, like Willie had said, then third is an amazing achievement if you get third in that group. So again, it all depends on who you get. But Willie was saying there, obviously Angel Maitland feel 10 feet tall, and I totally understand all that. But I've still got trepidation. Everybody's going on about how well Rangers played last night, and they did play well. Credit where it's due, but they got through a tie for me where the PSV keeper threw one into the net at Ibrox, and they sold the jerseys for the goal over there. If they don't make the mistakes, Rangers are probably going out. And I look at it you need an element of luck, but I still worry about Celtic because I know that Ange can change a wee bit, he can, but our main way of playing is go for it, take the game to the team. It's how we play. We're no rigid. We're free-flowing. Obviously, players are on the move all the time. It's I don't mean they forget about defensive completely, but it's very attack-minded. Rangers, on the other hand, play more rigid, and they're very good at hitting teams on the counter-attack. And I think when Celtic, again, without having seen them playing in the Champions League with this team, you have to say, realistically, I don't think they'll be afforded as much of the ball as what they are domestically. And the way we play, we need a lot of the ball, and the better quality teams you get domestically, Maeda, right? People will say we desperately need a defensive midfielder. I would agree with that. In Scotland, the way we play, I don't think it's a desperate thing because people like Maeda win the ball so high up the park that he's doing that role at somebody that would break up attacks, but he's doing it further up the park. Whereas with a better quality opposition, I think you'll find that they'll be able to pass through our press a lot easier than teams in Scotland will. Then they're getting by Maeda. So then that comes into play where you need that defensive midfielder to try and break things up. It's going to be a very difficult task. And there is that trepidation, but I'm very excited, and I really hope that they stick to their guns, Celtic, and play because there's no point in telling the players for essentially a year to play a certain way and then come up to the Champions League and go, right, we're going to play a back five. It doesn't work. So I don't want them to change for it, but I worry that their style of play won't be as suited as, say, a Rangers, just for an example, to play against the better quality teams.
So are you effectively saying that there should be that cliche plan B, that come up with a plan to stop teams who attack? Because I know what you're saying, because you look at the SPFL and you're 100% correct. We have the ball 80% of the time, for example. We're getting about 20 shots, whatever amount of corners, free kicks, and all that. That's fair enough. And in the Champions League, I do agree with what you're saying. Mm-hmm. To me, we don't know. Obviously, you're getting into this with the unknown, but from what you can see, we're very open, expansive, and we know Ange will chase in that style. And it is a bit worrying if you come up against a PSG, a City, a Bayern. You don't know where that could lead to, because I'm always confident we're going to score goals, but you come across the side, you don't want to get, let's be honest, you don't want to get slapped by a thing.
Well, of course you don't want to get slapped by a team, but the reality is that we very well could, because the jump in quality is so drastic that, listen, I'm not being negative at all. I'm just sort of trying to temper the optimism slightly, because it's going to, if we do get slapped about, as you say, then it's going to be a difficult one to take. But listen, at home, the way we play, I fancy is against most this team. Away from home, I think we have to be a bit more rigid, and then that's when I think this team, without having seen them playing in that tournament against this level of opposition, that's without the benefit of hindsight, that's when I think this team might struggle. But again, we don't know.
I reckon we will see a couple of 4-3s.
Like the Europa last year.
Aye, it's just going to be like, if
exciting.
You score 3, we'll score 4. Aye.
It's a fair shout. I mean, I get what you mean, and you're not coming across negative, Ross, at all. I think you're being real, and it's fair enough to be real in what you're thinking and what you're feeling, John. And you look at it, and yes, we all love the attacking football and how we're coming across, the way we play, Kyogo, Jada, Maeda. But what do you think about what Ross said? I thought it was a great point, and to add to it as well, the defensive midfield side of things, that player we're linked from Hadzik split as went quiet, but I know we're going to have to look to strengthen before the end of the window, because there'll be more departures. But do you think that's an issue we need to sort out if you're going down that route?
I mean, for the longer term it is, but I mean, as it stands at the minute, we just need to accept that probably isn't going to happen, and we've got the team we've got. So, like Ross says, I mean, it's all right when you're talking about hypotheticals and you've got benefit of hindsight and things like that, but as it stands at the minute, we need to focus on the team we've got. And I'm confident. I understand what Ross is saying, and I think we're going to concede goals just because of how we play, but we will score. And I think teams might. If you look back to the Europa League, right? I mean, by all accounts, that was a tough group. The teams there's no slouches, and we still finished that with 9 points. And that was a team that wasn't fully fleshed out as it is now. We're still in the very early stages of Ange being in the door, and we're still learning to adapt and play that style of football. We did concede a lot, but we scored a lot, and we still gave a good account of ourselves. And I think the same might be, it's going to be applicable again here in the Champions League. But I think we're much better positioned now than we were then. So I think teams that come to us or think for whatever reason that we're going to be a walkover might be a surprise, because I think we've got enough about us to punish any team that leaves us open.
Yeah, I think from what I can see here, the draw's about to start.
I agree with John. Can I just quickly nip in? Totally agree with John there. I think we're a much more settled side and much better defensively, because a lot of people look at Europe last year, but I think we're much better defensively. But also on the same token, like Andrew's already said, he's not going to get a centre centre mid that kicks boys up and down the place and sits there, which we've all talked about it before, and I agree that's something that we probably could look at, especially for Europe. I think the way the fullbacks get forward and everybody gets forward, somebody that sits there that kind of comes in and it turns into a back three would suit us more in Europe, but it's not going to happen. It's no Angie's style. It's not his way. So let's just score 3 or 4 goals and hope they didn't score any more than us.
See, my worry is as well. Sorry, Steve. My worry is as well. Like Willie and John are obviously they're making fair points there. Saying about like we're a lot more settled defensively and stuff like that. Last season, February time, we were sitting like best defensive record, waxing lyrical about how settled we were. CCV was amazing. Then in February, we went and played Bodo Glimt and we got absolutely battered. And that was us. I don't know. Are we more settled now than we were then? I'm not sure. Maybe a wee bit. It's just games like that give me the worry. But listen, I'm excited and I can't wait. And I can't wait to put our wits against the top teams in Europe and see what we're made of.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, my nerves. I know we're talking about not caring and that, but they're shot to pieces here, lads. Honestly, I'm watching this draw here with no sound and stuff, and trying to figure out where they're at, and they're on the stage.
They'll be telling you. They'll be telling you how it's going to work. It'll take another half an hour before they even start.
But I always go back to seeing all these badges on the screen, like Borussia Dortmund, Shakhtar Donetsk, and it's mental because this brings back so many memories for me when I was younger watching the Champions League football off the ground. It's just class to see us involved in that European competition again.
Both their teams aren't even in pot A or B.
I know, but I'm just picking out random.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They're like world class teams, and they're not even in the top 2 seeded pots. This is why it's the best competition in Europe. Unbelievable. Their teams on the likes of Inter aren't even in one of the top 2 pots for the seeded teams.
Crazy.
They're just explaining it all. They're explaining all the nonsense.
Who's getting awards in that? Who's getting all the awards in it?
I seen Yaya Toure was there. And...
Yeah. It's incredible just to be involved, and I get what you say, Ross. I think you actually brought a great point to the table in terms of that, because we can't afford to get too carried away.
Every time, Pete, every time.
I know.
Yeah, 100%. But we can't afford to get too carried away. Yes, we'd be excited, but we can't be making all these bold predictions. We're going to fucking ace it and qualify and things like that. Because, and Alistair Jack here, John, if you put up his point, pot 2 is better than pot 1.
Kevin, get the beers up now.
100%. The quality in this tournament is incredible at the minute. Like,
it is.
It's the same. By the way, it's the same every time we're in the draw. You're sitting, and we're always usually, obviously, one of the lower seeds. We're in pot 4 this time, aren't we? So
yeah.
It's going to be. We're going to see the top 3 teams in every group before.
I know, and then you're like, "Oh my god!"
And then you're sitting, and then the group of death there, and you're like, "No group C, no group C, no group C," and then they're like, "Celtic FC," and you're like, "No group C, no group C, no group C, group C," and you're like, "Fuck!"
Without fail,
it's going to happen, man. It's the same as
we'll get Real Madrid.
Aye.
You were just going to make that point.
Every time Scotland qualify for the World Cup, they get Brazil. Standard.
And every time they hang me for draw the group for to get like a European qualifier, they always draw the team that's just won the Euros.
Just studs.
I appreciate that comment, buddy. I usually hit my accent when I listen back, but thanks very much. But John, can we confirm here before this draw starts? Real Madrid, or can we confirm for this? Is this going to be a pen and paper kind of thing? We're just jotting things down.
I've got mine.
If you've got it on the side of you, you're going to see.
But I want to keep
if you want to
get it.
Well, but I thought we were doing that anyway.
Yes, that's grand. That's grand.
Let's write it down, because if we forget anything, we'll be able to have notes to, or you'll be able to have notes to refer to if you want to ask something about it or that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you think, Willie? If you had to pick one English team to play, who would it
be? Chelsea or Spurs?
I think I go for Chelsea.
There's a whole Liverpool thing with the, like, we've obviously got a bit of an affinity with them, but I don't like Chelsea, so I'd like to beat them.
I don't. Don't like Liverpool at all either. I don't get where
Based on current league form, Liverpool.
Oof.
Aye, wait 2 weeks and they'll
I know. They'll be back to the top end of the league.
Based on who I think would be more suited to playing, I would say Chelsea, because I think we'll have a lot of the ball. Well, we'll want to have a lot of the ball, and I mean they're all great teams, but counter-attacking wise, I would say they're maybe no as good as the other three mentioned, possibly.
I would agree.
Man City are just got to keep the ball off you all the time. I don't know.
Chelsea haven't really got much up top either, and
there we go. And first ball's been drawn out here.
Son and Kane absolutely terrify me.
Aye. Son has become a world-class player.
Yep.
Maybe 2 or 3 years or maybe a year or two too late, because he can't get that big move now, because they're going to have to pay. Spurs will want a copious amount of money for him, and a big team will not
first
pay
team
that.
Out is Ajax.
Ajax.
It's Ajax, you melonhead.
I'm going to shut these blinds, boys. Give 2 seconds.
And Kieran has that bang on. Look at that, Ross. That's bang on about you. Look at
that. I wasn't slagging you. I was helping you out.
I'm only joking. Second team being drawn here by Yaya Toure himself.
What group is it? Is it no day the group that it goes into? No.
Yes. Ajax are in the Group A. FC Porto was just drawn out there.
Ajax in Group A.
Yeah. Porto in Group B.
Porto in Pot 1, aye.
Yeah, it's quite surprising, isn't it?
Aye.
That fucking beeping, man.
You would take you would take one of they two.
I was thinking that. Bayern Munich have been drawn out. Third team out. They win the Pot C.
That's the thing. We talk about how you want one of the elite, you want a massive team, but if you do draw a Porto or Ajax in Pot 1, there's still massive teams in Pot 2 and that as well. Liverpool's and Juve's. So for me, I'd like one proper, like one of the world's elite at the moment. And I mean, elite. When I talk about elite, that's like Man City, Liverpool, Real Madrid. Oh, there we go.
Oh, look at this guy.
Now. Oh, the tech guys come through.
Frankfurt.
Tech guys come through. Oh, no, beautiful faces are still sitting there on the left-hand side too.
Check John out, eh?
John knows his stuff. He does this for his days. He loves it. Does stuff like this in his sleep.
I'll just put my pen and paper in the bucket. Yeah. Save the rest for later.
Well, what are you going to do later with your wrist?
Oh, come on, Stephen. If you need to ask that, you've ruined the joke, kid.
I had to do that earlier. Couldn't come into with a loaded gun to this. Too excited.
What you do? Write notes?
AC Milan.
Writing my notes earlier. I was too excited to do it when I came on.
Frankfurt, Milan.
Milan and another one. They were.
That's a tough group for Milan. Like, they'll not like that.
Groupies.
I love an AC Milan.
An AC Milan?
Love a night in Milan.
Shut up, lads. Real Madrid.
That's who I want. Real Madrid.
Bernabeu
and the Bernabeu.
Podcast, man. It's actual bullying.
I'm still jotting this down in case this comes up. So
Group F. I want Real Madrid. I want the European champions.
Do you really want them? Like,
I
do, honestly. Really, really do.
Real Madrid. Jim White here.
So is that the general consensus then? Real Madrid is... I think based on what I've seen, everybody kind of wants Real Madrid. It seems to be the
We've not had them
that we want. Aye.
That's a glamour tie.
That'd be a great tie. Like Manchester City have been drawn in Group G. So a group tie.
I'd love to see us playing in the Bernabeu in that black away strip.
Oh, yes.
Under the lights. Sensational, man.
Matt O'Reilly just running rings with Rune Modric.
Right. Just taking selfies.
PSG, Group H. That hasn't updated, John, there, buddy. What's the crack?
Don't know, mate. Give us a second. Keep chatting away the new.
What about John messing that up, eh? What's that all about?
I think for me, I at the moment I'd rather go into A or B with Ajax or Porto.
We're going to
Even
pot
Frankfurt
two
and D, like yeah, pot two. Who's that? Thiago there, was it?
now. Aye.
Aye.
I'll
Chelsea's
even
in
get the
this one
pen and
too.
paper again.
Rake through that bin. Enrica.
By the way, you absolutely nailed that. If I had a buzzer, it would be the
Thanks,
golden
mate.
one I'd be pressing right now.
Thanks, mate. Stephen,
Can
tell us
see that
your best
already,
thing to-
Preston. Can see that already.
I
What's your
apologise. I apologise, boys.
That's all right, John. That's good crack.
Technical
right.
difficulties on this end.
Listen,
We'll keep
We've all
going
been
with
there.
this. Pen and paper job.
I literally
Keep
might need to
updated.
jump out.
I've
for this,
lost my way. I can't catch up.
Listen, we never stop. Just need to keep it rolling.
I don't fancy us playing Spurs. I really don't. I don't know
No,
why
I don't.
this.
Well, I
would
want them.
take it.
I'm quite like Ross, whereas
be
I
back in a
wouldn't
minute,
mind an
boys.
English team. No worries, mate.
Okay, no worries.
I'm quite like Ross, whereas I wouldn't mind an English team just because it's always that Battle of Britain thing that always gets touted at the whole Battle of Britain. But Spurs is a dangerous one because, like I said, Kane and Son absolutely scared the living bejesus out of me.
Here's the
What
first
about
ball of
Richarlison?
top two to be drawn.
Wait, he's got to finish your top goal scorer this year just to
Oh,
wind
I
you up.
fucking know, man. I is. I know.
Right,
Celtic.
here's Yaya with the next. What we got?
His brother was decent for us as well.
Nah, he didn't.
What was the pot?
Leipzig.
Leipzig are out.
What was the? Ah,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Fuck it, man.
So Group A at the moment is. Oh, hold
Well,
on.
there's
a
no
second.
point in
Was it
saying
Group
at the
B,
moment.
like?
There's only one team in each group, so it doesn't really matter what group they're in now.
I thought it was only group pot 2 now, was it not?
Yeah.
Right, Leipzig have just been drawn, so they're drawn what group they're going in now.
Right.
Big Altintop, the Turkish legend, is drawn it. Mind him, no?
Oh, aye. Used to play with Bayern.
Oh, he did, mate. Aye, that's true.
Sure, he played against
That's
the Scottish team.
Some knowledge.
Sure, he
That's
played
some
against
knowledge.
the Scottish team.
Group F.
What Group F?
So who's in F?
Real.
Real and Leipzig.
Leipzig.
That's not bad. I'll take
Yeah.
that.
Would you take that?
Real and
Leipzig?
I would
Leipzig.
take that because I want an elite team and then a couple of teams that I think we can maybe nip second place. So I would take that.
Uh-huh.
Next out of a ball by Yaya is. Let's see here.
He's throwing a week in the jail, is yeah.
Juventus. See what
So
group they're
it's
drawn in.
Ajax, but it's Juventus. Come on, man.
Ross.
Juve.
Ross.
Stephen.
Shut up.
I knew he was going to be angry today. See with the text messages in the group chat this morning, I just knew he was going to be angry, Stephen. that
I'm
turns
not
up today.
angry. I'm happy. Come on, boys. We're in the Champions League. We're loving life.
Having a party in the Champions League. Good.
Juventus are going to Group H with
H.
PSG.
Oh,
We'll end up that one.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Oh, I know, you know, man.
Aye,
That.
mate, stay clear of that. There's Pavel
That's
Nedved.
stinking.
What a player he was, by the way.
I'm back.
Right.
Yeah.
He's still got the lovely Lego hair too, Pavel.
John, just a quick
Never lost
update.
their
on
strand.
Group F at the moment is Madrid and Leipzig. Group H is PSG and Juventus at the minute.
I can see it, mate. I'm going to bring it up now.
John
Oh.
was a massive Nedved fan, wasn't he?
Oh, listen, I thought Nedved was absolutely world class.
John was a
Italian
massive
football.
Ned.
Tottenham Hotspur have been drawn out. Now let's see what group they're going in.
I think I was the opposite of Ned.
Real
Oh, I know.
Leipzig.
I know.
Real and Leipzig, that's who I want. So far.
Me too.
Who
Oh
we
my
got?
God.
What group was Real
Excuse
and
me.
Leipzig? F, Stephen.
F.
Thanks.
F.
F.
Group F.
This is for Tottenham to see what group they go into.
Now that we've talked about it, I'd quite like to avoid Tottenham.
I'm
So
with
I
Andy.
think
Bring it on.
they're in Group D. Spurs are in with Frankfurt.
I would
Oh,
take that.
That's no bad group too, by the way.
Rangers will get that.
Aye.
Funny enough, they played Tottenham in a pre-season friendly as well.
Rangers will draw Bathgate and Stonyburn and they're not even in it.
Oh,
There we go. Group F. I'd like Group F.
Liverpool have been drawn out, boys.
I think I'm being glasses. I can hardly see that.
If Group F get Sporting Lisbon, I really want Sporting Lisbon. Like
That would be great. We were talking about that earlier, Johnny. See the whole stadium in green and white hoops. That would be
unreal, and they fucking love
nice.
Celtic. Or they're like,
not as much as PSV. You see them singing.
aye.
Again, eh? That age fell.
I know. It was brilliant.
Group A has Liverpool in it
With
with
Ajax.
Ajax.
Oh.
Van der Sar was like,
Van der Sar. Well, he's Man U, isn't he? Through and through, so he'll be like off.
There's a wee brother in Group D.
Right.
Group
Group
D.
D.
I reckon,
Tottenham. Right.
I reckon
I'll take
everything that's been drawn out so far, well, all the groups with two teams in it, that's looking like the most likely that we would have a better chance of qualifying from.
Uh-huh.
Seville have been just drawn out.
Oh,
Do not want group. We don't want Group H. Like, no way.
Nah, Group H is a disaster zone here.
No, that's a stinker,
Aye, that's the one we're going to end up with though. Already. I can tell.
Sevilla.
Again, man.
Sevilla. Would you like a away trip to Seville?
I would have made a trip to Seville.
Been there, done it.
I heard the toilet water's tasty, so.
Oh my god.
Well played, William.
They're in Group G
So they're in our
with
city.
Manchester City. Yeah.
I'd take that. I'd take that too.
See, at the end of the day, whatever group we got, it's got to be.
I know.
Aye, it's going to be
Aye,
amazing.
it's the elite of the elite. Like we said, even pot
Aye.
three's got teams that were. It's just epic to be back.
Aye.
How long? I know,
Yeah,
John will probably know. How long have we got now of this format? I know they're changing it to this whole league format and that coming up. Is that another 2 years or so?
2025.
I think it's,
we're bringing that in.
it's meant to
25,
be
is it?
a couple of years.
That's nonsense. Isn't
Barcelona have
Barca.
been drawn out.
we didn't want them. They're going in with Bayern.
To be fair,
Oh,
I wouldn't be that afraid of Barcelona at the minute. Their team's
No,
going through a massive.
No, I wouldn't. But I'm
Massive
just
rebuild,
sick,
like.
I'm sick of always drawing them.
Aye.
Yeah, true.
Bored.
They're going in Group E, and that's the one we're getting.
I don't know.
Again.
They're going to C. They're going to C with Bayern.
See,
Barca.
yep.
Group C.
Bayern.
Aye.
Oh, that's fucking murder, man. No one. I
Aye.
said
Can I just say as well,
Jinxed
can I
it. I
just
said
say
Group C.
quickly, lads, I just want to say thank you everyone who's watching along here. It's brilliant to see the
Yes.
support in the comments flying in as well. Just get involved with us. Just chatting. We're back in the Champions League. We're all happy. Big Yaha has his hands over this here now, getting them out. Let's go.
Fully agree.
Me
Group
too,
C.
Ryan. No Group C.
Barca were always going to get Brian with Bayern. Brian. Brian,
You slide me. Chelsea have been
because
drawn out.
obviously
The B and E.
Lewandowski went to Barca, didn't
Oh, so he did. Ah, that's true. He's gone back there.
he? Right.
Are they just playing Sadio Mane up front now?
Oh, Group E.
Can I tell you?
Chelsea and
Milan.
AC.
That's quite tasty. I wouldn't mind that.
New York, London, Paris, Munich. No, that's Milan though.
Back it no more.
Next
Yeah,
out
come on.
is
Atletico.
Atletico Madrid. I wouldn't want to play them. Diego Simeone has
By the
them.
way,
Well,
Aye,
they're
Porto,
Group Porto, aren't they?
Atletico.
They're Group B
Aye.
with Porto. It's the only group
Group
left,
B.
so aye, they're in Group
Yeah.
B. That's
They're
not too
getting
bad
through
either,
this
to be
quite
fair.
quick, by the way. It's usually
Aye,
I
by the
know,
way,
it usually takes
ages.
forever.
B and D on paper probably the easier.
Yeah, I would agree
groups
with
at this
that.
point.
I wouldn't mind G.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not easy by any stretch.
No, no. But
No.
the more likely that we have a chance, let's say, because we're not wanting.
Top three.
Well, let's like Group C and Group H are the two that, me personally, I want to avoid.
Well,
I'm
I mean-
going to tell you the truth. As it stands at the minute, I'd be leaning towards D.
I want F.
Yeah.
Aye,
I
they
see
have.
that. Yeah.
I want F.
F as
I
well,
would-
just
I would
because of
have
the Madrid
F.
tie. But in terms
F or
of
D.
qualifying, D. I mean, you want to test yourself against the Europa League champions, right? Put that to rights. You've got an English team as well.
Group B, Ryan. I wouldn't have made that either at this moment in time. Nah.
Yep.
I hear what you're saying, Phil, but I want at least one team that's like the proper one of the big 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with
elite
you on that one.
teams.
Aye.
So
Aye.
say we got like
Wouldn't
what
mind it.
John said, see like in the Leipzig, if we had a Sporting or something like that in there, a winnable tie, let's say, on paper, because we can beat any of them, but on paper, a winnable tie, like a Sporting or something like that in Group F, I would want that all day.
There's quite a few people coming in with D, B. Group A will suit Celtic. I mean,
No, I don't know for sure
I
about
like the
that.
Liverpool tie. Like Celtic Liverpool, as we've discussed, would be great. Just due to the whole, like the links that we've got with them. You'll Never Walk Alone, being sung by both sets of fans under the lights.
I don't fucking Liverpool. Fuck that.
See what you feel.
Right, yeah, let's go. This is tasty. I love. By the way, I know, like obviously, pot 4 shit because you're the lowest seeds, but I love the fact that we're pot 4, so you see the full group before you're
Aye.
drawn, so you can say like, come on.
First team out,
I see it forming.
Napoli.
Napoli. I was in Naples
Again.
this year. Lovely.
So you
Lovely
Again.
place.
Not
Every
a
group
team
but
that should be
E and
feared
H.
from me.
See, when
We
you
can't
say
go into
not a
Group
team
E.
to be feared, Stephen.
Or H. Well, it says there's 4
Or
groups. you
H,
can't
aye.
do.
When you say not a team to be feared, Stephen, what teams there that are drawn so far fear you then in their groups?
Group hates.
Fearing you.
Group hates for one. I wouldn't want to be on that. No way.
So they
They're in
two
Group
are
A.
the both their
Napoli.
teams
Oh,
fear you.
Napoli, Ajax, Liverpool.
That's
Ooh,
not so bad. I
That's
wouldn't have been
that's
that.
a sore group.
that's it. Yeah.
So what we're
I
talking,
wouldn't want
Stephen?
that.
Bayern, Barca, Real, Man City, PSG. Are they the ones that have put the fear up you any more than that?
It's not fear. And the whole Liverpool thing for me wasn't fear. It's just purely I don't understand why people say we've got links to them. I don't get it. Yes, we're saying
Studs.
a similar
True
song.
studs.
Salzburg has been drawn out by Yaya Toure. Let's see where they go.
Wouldn't mind them in Group
That's-
F, and then I'll take
Who?
that. Salzburg.
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 The two Red Bull
Salzburg's-
teams playing each other.
Group D or Group F, which is the two that I'd want.
Let's see.
B, did you say? Or D?
I don't think they can get. Nah, they can't get. I think it just came up. They can't get D.
I don't know.
Don't know.
Salzburg are what, they Swiss?
I can't.
No,
I can't.
Austrian.
Austrian.
But I think
So they
that
can go in any
there's
group then, surely.
I don't know.
Group E
E.
with Chelsea and AC.
That's a no bad group, by the way.
I don't want Milan. Listen, I like AC Milan. I've been a fan of AC Milan for years, but I
Aye.
don't. I'm sick of playing them.
I know what you mean.
We've not played
Them,
anybody.
Barcelona, Bayern.
It's been a few years now, William. Every other time prior to that. Benfica.
Yeah, what we got next?
Benfica next.
Stick them in Group F and I'll take that.
in
Have you
Group
tripped to
F.
Portugal? Be no bad.
We've had
I
Benfica a
want-
couple
I
of
want-
times in the Champions League as well, though.
I badly want to be in Sporting's Group A. Like,
Right, well, let's put Sporting in Group F and then us, and then that'll do then.
Aye,
Then we'll
I
just
would take
bubble
that.
him.
that's it. Stream's finished. Bye, guys.
I would take
Okay.
Sporting in Group D.
Aye, but I want Real
Aye.
Madrid, man. I really like
Group
John's
H.
fucking like John's wanting
Group H.
Sporting.
I've been
Oh,
wanting Real Madrid for a while, but I'm now leaning towards Group D. But I don't know. I don't know if Leipzig's improved anything last season because they were done last season.
they were. They were poor.
Peter-
Ryan Taylor thinks it's absolutely certainty we're getting Madrid.
I hope so, mate. I hope
Hopeful.
so. I hope so.
I think Peter's point's good, John, if you bring that up quickly.
What'd you say?
Peter's point is good, yeah. That
Group
one.
B.
I agree, Peachy, mate. That one is horrendous, I don't think.
I
that
don't know.
Dortmund's
Milan
been
and
put out
Chelsea are
there?
good
Oh,
sides.
Man City, Sevilla, Dortmund.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Mind
Nope.
Dortmund aren't the team they were either. And Sevilla,
They're-
like
they're
that,
no,
well,
but
Sevilla
they're
are serial
still
winners
Dortmund.
in Europe, to be fair.
Sevilla are. I mean, what they won the UEFA Cup more times than anybody else.
Aye, they won it like 4 years out of 5 or something.
Has Dortmund replaced Hummel shit? Because you can't
who's
play
this?
a high line with a 75-year-old. Fancy that then.
But I heard he's got a
Right.
Zimmer now. He's got a Zimmer now.
Leverkusen. Leverkusen has withdrawn out.
What?
Where are they going? Where the hell are they going?
Can he go into D? Can he go into D?
Can't go into F. They can't go into G. Obviously,
Can I go into F?
B.
T? Aye.
Oh, B.
Group
That's a
B.
decent group, by the way. Group B. I would take that.
Porto, Atletico,
I would take B.
Leverkusen.
I would take
We
that.
played Leverkusen last year.
Yep.
We did.
I'm the stat man.
Former Celtic player Frimpong
Who's the
plays
boy
left
from
back for them.
Porto that looks like Claudio Ranieri in the straw, by the way?
Sporting, right? D or F?
Sporting.
F. Get an F and then put us in F. I said it. I called
I'll
it.
take that.
I don't think they can get. They can't get D. Apparently, if you look
Getting
at the
it.
draw,
How? How no? How can they not go and see a D?
They surely can get D because there's no Portuguese
I
team in
know,
there.
but I don't know. Maybe I'm
Aye, they
misreading it,
can,
but they're
'cause they're in
flashing a
the-
red light up next to the group.
Right.
What we're thinking? F. We're going for F.
Aye, I hope that's. I called it, mate. I called it. Sporting, then Celtic and F. Come on,
D.
Where do we go?
Group
D.
F.
D.
Oh,
D's not bad.
D's
I would
all day
take.
long,
I would
really.
take Group D now. I
Frankfurt,
would take
Tottenham,
Group D
Sporting.
now.
That's the one.
That's the one Rangers are getting.
Aye,
Rangers are getting Group D.
100%. But please, 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 God, get Group C.
Or
Or-
H.
A.
My nerves are going here. Like
H.
Saying that doesn't matter who Rangers play because they're the best team in Europe now. We all getting that.
That's true. Aye, that's true.
Shakhtar
Shakhtar are in
Donetsk.
Group F.
Oh, I didn't want to travel over there.
Don't want to go
No.
to Ukraine.
But if you're going to get them in a group, you want F. Aye, there you go.
yeah.
Ah,
Oof. We've been there before and lost
Who's
3-0.
who's left in that pot? Because they're going straight into Group C, aren't they?
Who?
Aye.
Aye, they will be.
Who's
Aye.
left? Come on, yeah, get it open.
Here's
Who's he
the,
got?
this is where you start to fucking sweat.
Aye, my bumhole's
No.
going.
Aye. My stomach's
Inter
like a washing
Milan.
machine.
Inter Milan.
Oh, oh my
Group
God!
C,
Bayern,
Jesus
Barca, and
Christ,
Inter.
man.
That's
Oh,
our. That's who we're getting.
Oh,
That's our group.
What
That's
the mad
our
thing
group.
is? What the mad thing is? See, when I was talking about, I kept saying we didn't want Group C, didn't want Group C. Just the first one off my head, we're going to end up in fucking Group C.
Oh, we are. Aye.
Jesus Christ.
That's going to be a C group. That.
Oh.
Aye. I'm not. You want to avoid C.
Aye. What day?
Kaiser. Squeaky bum time,
Kaiser,
definitely.
squeaky bum. Is that you thinking about Fridays, Kaiser?
Kaiser.
Aye, just a quick recap, guys. Tomorrow night, Kaiser's actually coming on as a special guest on our wee guest takeover series. So that's tomorrow night at 8. If you want to tune in, Kaiser will be on. I'm
Ideal.
sure. I'm not sure he's excited enough about it yet. But
Oh, first footage I've seen him to do with the final pad. Who do you think
There we
Rangers
go.
first?
First club, aye. Fucking fuck off.
Who's the first club?
So see before every
they
pot
show all
comes
the
out, Ross, they
teams.
show like a wee montage of all the teams and then somebody scoring a goal and then they celebrate. The first team in that pot, first clip they showed.
Ryan,
Where's
it
us?
is a glamour. It is a glamour group, but
Rangers.
I know I said I want elite teams and all that, but I did say I want a balance. That Group C is fucking that's
Disgusting.
mental. Aye, it is
no, I
absolute
think they'll still draw the group as well, mate.
Aye, they'll just draw the group. So we'll
Group
come out
H
and
is
then they'll
horrible
be
as well.
Aye. I'll take F.
F
I
or
know
D.
everybody wants D because
lads,
it's
come on, like, oh,
F because of Madrid. D for for me, I want D because Sporting's in it, and I think that we've got a decent chance of qualifying in that group.
Uh-huh.
I would take personally. I would take Group B as well.
E.
A.
E. I
E.
wouldn't be so
E.
disappointed with E.
Let's see again.
Milan, Chelsea, Salzburg.
I think Milan and Chelsea are tough games. Solid teams.
We just want to avoid C at all costs.
Like, yeah. Oh,
Here we go. There's Claudio Ranieri's just stirred the pot. Now it's Yaya's turn to pick it out.
bet you the first time's us, Betty. That's
Oh my
such a
god, my
lead thing.
stomach is fucking in knots, by the way.
90. I didn't want See.
Let's see, man. Right, what we got? Yeah.
As us, Steve.
Celtic.
Celtic. Oh, group F.
Oh
F
my
or D.
God.
F or D. Oh, there's a clip of Kyogo scoring that wonderful goal last year with Jota.
Jota past him.
Was that
Pass and a half
my
volley.
Betis game?
Boys,
Oh!
where are we going?
Come on, Celtic. D. D or F?
D.
D or F?
Dear F.
D.
Come.
D or F? Come on.
Stop saying give us D.
Come on, Alton top.
Oh
Nice there.
my
Here
God.
we go. The ball's turning.
Oh,
He's
man.
got it. Right, take it out. What group are we in?
F.
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 F!
Lad. Come
Yes!
on.
Yes!
Yes.
That's
Come
a decent
on!
group, by the way. We've got a
Come on,
chance
man.
against the other two teams.
Come on.
That's
Yes!
a great group. That's a
Yes!
fucking great group. Wanted
It's a
that.
tremendous
boys.
group.
Come on.
Exactly.
That's
what I
a great
wanted.
group.
Exactly what I wanted. I wanted
Ryan
Real
and
Madrid.
Kaiser.
I wanted
Called
Real
it.
Madrid and 2 winnable ties, and
Buzzing.
they are, and we've got that. Fucking come on, Celtic.
Buzzing, man.
Yes.
Aye, easy. We can
Gone to
listen,
Real,
we can,
man.
we can beat Shakhtar and Leipzig.
Oh, I'm
Mhm.
fucking buzzing. Exactly what I
Marseille.
wanted, man.
Marseille.
Real and 2 winnable ties, and that's what
Fucking
we've got. Come
Come
on.
on.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking love it.
Superbulous.
I can't believe it, man. Exactly what we wanted. Well, exactly what I wanted anyway. Come on.
Me take it. I wanted Real
We still
Madrid
have- we
and then a
still have-
couple
we
of
s-
less.
So, sorry,
lesser,
we'll,
but-
we'll meet Sporting in the knockouts.
Aye.
well,
no. Well, no.
And that'll be a nice away day for us all.
Marseille go into Group D.
Oh, that's the
Oh,
Spurs are going to win that with 2 games to spare. That group.
unless
What
Frankfurt
is
won
sure,
it.
by the way.
Bet you a fiver.
No,
Oh.
I haven't got a fiver.
What a group. I'm absolutely buzzing, by the way. I can't wait
Me
for that.
too.
Real Madrid.
Outstanding group.
Right, are we going to book a trip to Madrid? We'll not get tickets, but we're going to
Madrid
go
for the final?
What's the script with playing Shakhtar? Is it in,
It's in Poland.
Copenhagen next here.
it's in Poland,
Cop-
John, do you say?
Aye, I think they're playing in
Aye,
Poland. mate.
Right.
I'll be no bad trip there.
Polska.
I'm absolutely buzzing, man.
Me
Absolutely
too.
buzzing. Real
Delighted
Madrid.
with that.
Come on, man.
Copenhagen.
Come on.
to get Group A.
Oh my God.
Leipzig
Yeah,
and Shakhtar will not be happy getting us, like.
No. They're 2 winnable ties for us, in my opinion. After
Absolutely.
watching Leipzig last year, I don't know if they've improved much, but they were dire last
G.
year.
Oh, Copenhagen
that?
get shafted.
G.
Group G.
Could have been worse. Could have been C. Come on. We know who we want to get Group C, eh?
C or H.
Absolutely, Bob. C or H, aye.
Oh, imagine finishing with 0 points. Oof.
Good
Morning,
evening,
Chris.
Chris from Australia. Nice for you to join us, buddy. Unbelievable.
Christmas has
Christmas
come
game
early.
early. You're bang on, mate.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely
Better
buzzing with
believe
that
it.
group. Right, who have we got next?
Just wanted
Bruges.
Real, that was all I wanted.
Bruges. I know, me too. Well, no, I didn't. I wanted Real and 2 winnable ties. That's exactly
Aye.
what we've got. I can't remember. I'm
Exactly
so
what we've
excited,
got,
man.
aye.
So excited.
Absolutely no way I thought we were going to get something as decent
John.
as that.
I might hear another 6 pints tonight now.
We've got a guest in the studio. Can you fit him in this one?
Should we bring him in?
Who?
Should
Who
we
is it?
bring him in?
Nah.
Mr.
The
Dunn?
poet?
Unless it's
Fuck
Ange.
it. Let's go,
No, I don't.
Anthony.
Come on,
Who is
Tony!
Two tickets to the Dunn show.
Got the Galacticos, man.
The Galacticos, we're off to the Bernabeu, boys and girls,
Yay.
are we?
What a group, man. Absolutely
Buzzing.
buzzing,
Bruges
mate.
in Group B here.
I don't know about you, Tony. We were all discussing it earlier, and for me, I wanted Real and 2 winnable ties, and I think that's what we've got there in Group F.
I would agree with
Absolutely, couldn't agree more with you, Willie. I've been listening in on my way home from work. We kind of doing all your, kind of saying what other groups were going to be, and like you, my wee arse was making buttons when we came out there. I punched the air. I tell you what, Celtic, Real Madrid, under the lights.
Did you Finch pump?
Finch pump.
Rangers
You
have been
fucking
drawn
hell,
out.
will you? Finch pump, man.
Sevco have been
Rangers
drawn
are
out.
down the draw. Group C.
Who are the bootleg Rangers
You
getting?
can-
C
That's
or
it.
H?
There we go.
Please.
Are they out, like? Is that them out?
He's drawn it out, so that's him drawing the group now.
Please be
He's
C,
opened the
man.
ball,
These
and the
groups
bit
are-
of paper says Penalty to Rangers. Group C, come on.
Eh,
Eh?
Oh,
Ajax, Liverpool,
Liverpool.
Napoli. That's a
Oh.
stinking group, I know.
they're out. Aye,
Aye.
they're out.
I don't know, like, don't know.
But I tell you what, boys, what a draw, man. I mean, Celtic Real Madrid, it's never happened in the Champions
Unbelievable.
League era. I reckon that we'll drown, not even the Champions League anthem. I think the roar when the anthem starts that night will be so loud we might even be able to drown out Stephen's fire alarm. I'm buzzing, man.
You cheeky wee dick.
All coming in saying apparently they couldn't get C.
How?
Why is that, though? I don't listen. Sometimes these draws, I don't get it.
I think because Barcelona's there's a chapel in the new camp, and that would maybe be too, they couldn't cope with that.
There, lads. What a draw. What a
draw,
draw.
man. That's the draw we wanted. So can I just, because I can only, so we've got Real Madrid,
Leipzig and Shakhtar.
That's all
Celtic
right.
and Rangers. Celtic and Rangers both got the finalists for last year.
There you
There's
go,
there's definitely 9 points in that group for us.
Yeah, 100%.
Ties are winnable. And you've kind of got, I'll be honest, I wasn't daft on getting an English team, so I'm kind of glad we avoided it. If we were getting anybody, I would have wanted Liverpool or Spurs, but we've kind of avoided all the Battle of Britain headlines. We've got some winnable ties in there, and we've got the biggest team in the Champions League, the current holders, and the team that we've never drawn. We've never drawn them. We've not played them competitively since 1980. I can't wait. Even wee Remy the cat's buzzing. I'm getting here, wee man.
I thought cats purred, kid, but there you go.
Oh, brilliant. No,
I know there was a lot in the chat about Group D. I wouldn't have been happy with Group D. That's not the elite of the elite.
What is Group D, Wally? Can I just see it there?
It was Frankfurt, Spurs and Sporting came out, and everybody was shouting for that because obviously that seems like a more doable qualification through for Frankfurt, Spurs and Sporting. So everybody was clambering for Group D. But I wanted Real Madrid. We've got Real Madrid, and I still think we've got 2 winnable ties there, like I said. It's not a group of death. I couldn't be happier.
It's everything you wanted. I think it's the glamour ties. It's, I mean, it doesn't get any more glamorous than Real Madrid. Hi, Kevin.
Maccabi Haifa got Group H.
Oh my
Who's
God.
left? Who's got Group C? Because that's fucking horrendous. That's the worst. Who's that?
Victoria Pilsen.
Oh, Jesus
Christ. Aye,
if
the
I was
two
Victoria Pilsen-
weakest teams, I suppose you could say. I've got the 2 worst groups.
Aye.
That's a good point.
On paper,
That's a
anyway.
good point.
Aye. But then again, remember
Absolutely.
Sheriff Tiraspol, did they no fucking beat Madrid?
They did.
Aye, they did, aye.
So listen, we've got a chance.
Anything can happen. Anything
Exactly.
can happen.
Anything can happen in the
at the end of the
Bernabeu
year
for
being
me.
right.
Anything can happen.
Imagine me winning the Bernabeu. Oof.
Especially
Oh
when
my
you've got.
God.
See when you've got.
Oh, there'll be
It's
some
amazing
lovely
the same
Spanish
place.
babies getting made.
See when you've got Maeda and the high press, you've got a chance of beating anybody.
And
Exactly.
Gregory at left back.
Stephen, you just want to recap all the final groups in, and we'll get this off.
Aye, 100%. So Group A is Ajax, Liverpool, Napoli, and Sevco, Rangers. Group B is Porto, Atletico, Leverkusen, and Club Brugge. Group C is Bayern, Munich, Barcelona, Inter, and is that Pilsen there? Yeah, Victoria
Yep.
Pilsen.
Yeah.
Group D is Frankfurt, Spurs, Sporting, and Marseille. Group E is AC, Milan, Chelsea, Salzburg, and Zagreb. Group F is our group, the best group, Real Madrid, Leipzig, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Celtic Football Club.
Come on.
And Group G is Manchester City, Sevilla, Dortmund, and Copenhagen. And Group H is PSG, Juventus, Benfica, and Maccabi Haifa. And that concludes the draw for this year's Champions League group stage.
Ties to be played on.
Aye,
But,
Hey,
yeah.
boys, I'm about to. I'm having to take Urgid to football training, so I'm going to have to love yous and leave yous. But cheers for getting us on there, John. Just for a quick synopsis. So I shall see yous. I'll keep tuning in, and I'll We'll catch you all later.
So, mate.
Catch you later,
Perfect,
kid.
I'm away to book some flights to Madrid. Cheers, boys.
Better wait till you get the dates first.
That's a fair point, eh? That's a good-
Right, catch you later,
later,
mate.
mate.
Cheers, boys. Hail.
Hell, mate.
Yeah,
When are we kicking off? It's only a few weeks now, isn't it? Starts in September.
Yeah, September.
And
yeah.
all ties not getting played earlier like 8 weeks because we need to get it done before the World Cup starts and all that as well.
Aye.
It's a very condensed
Not
window,
long.
like.
Right.
Not long. What we're thinking?
But mate, I can't believe it. I know, like, we're talking about Real Madrid, right? And you're thinking, Jesus, what a team. But see, with the Leipzig and Donetsk, as you rightly said, Willie, it's a glamour tie with 2 winnable ties that we can challenge more effectively for second place. I think we have a great chance. Third place as well, of course, should be not nailed on, but should be something we should be aiming for, at least European football after Christmas anyway. But it's a brilliant draw for us, like Bernabeu. I can't wait for that.
Definitely. Exactly
Just
what I was
to
wanting,
see
mate. And I
Unbelievable.
think I know, and in the past we've kind of clamoured on what our home tie will be, and we're trying to get the 9 points at home and get through. But I feel like we've kind of got that away hoodoo off our backs a bit with previous years, and it is, mate. I think you're right, because I'm on holiday next
Aye.
week, and I think I'm still on holiday when it's on. What was I saying? I kind of think that away hoodoo's kind of. Oh, that's asking. We've got Madrid, Leipzig, and Shakhtar
Shakhtar
Donetsk.
Donetsk.
I kind of think we've got rid of that away
Egyptian.
hoodoo. So I fancy us to get. Somebody said, I think it was Ryan Kelly that said that good chance of
7.
hopefully getting 7 points at home, and then hopefully we can try and get nick a draw or a win away from home here and there, and it'll be enough to see us through. And if no, like you say, Stephen, the bare minimum is to get third, and then we've still got European football after Christmas. I'm absolutely elated with that group draw. I couldn't be any happier, honestly. Unless like
Yeah.
John said about like the sporting and stuff like that, it would have been nice to have them in there. But for me, I just wanted Real Madrid. I wanted Real Madrid more than anything, and we've got them. I'm absolutely buzzing. The guys must be absolutely, like, the team. Calmac and Co must be absolutely. You'll need to peel them off the ceiling now. Imagine knowing that you're going away to the Bernabeu under the lights on a Tuesday or Wednesday night. Exceptional, man. Unbelievable.
It gives you, like, I know
Exciting, like.
we spoke about it as well, John. Like, I know Calmac early on when he was asked in his interviews who he wanted was Madrid, and he was asked more recently, and Real Madrid came to fruition, and it's just incredible, Ross, to think that we're going to the Bernabeu. We've been to Donetsk before. We've played them and beat them at home, and it's just a great feeling. And this show was your idea, so again, thanks for letting me host it. I know it's just incredible. The Champions League, Celtic Football Club back, Real Madrid.
Sorry, it's in Poland, mate. I think they're playing in Poland.
Aye.
And Real Madrid. How you feeling, Ross?
I'm absolutely buzzing. We said before it, like Willie, I wanted Real Madrid. I wanted 2 winnable ties on paper. They're still difficult games, whatever way you look at it. I don't know if Leipzig have improved for last year. I know what did they finish 3rd or 4th in the German league?
Yeah.
You can't say they're dummies, but I mean, I only seen them against Rangers, and they didn't look a good team. And that's not trying to take anything away from Rangers at all. Rangers played well and done what they had to do to get through the tie, but they didn't look good at all to me. Look, we've got a chance. We wanted the big hitter, Real Madrid. Was desperate for them, and then anything else after that. And I didn't want to get the wins we've had down the years: Benfica, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, teams like that. I know we've had Shakhtar, but I would take them again. Again, I don't know much about them. But
Can I just say as
you
well,
would have to say
Ancelotti's just won Coach of the Year.
he's won
He
Coach
won
of
that.
the Year. Aye, Real Madrid manager. But listen, Real Madrid have lost
Wait till he
Casemiro,
comes
so
up against Big
fucking
Ange.
slow them.
Aye, no, the midfield's fucking got a combined age
20
of about
bats.
100, about 243.
Listen,
Matt O'Reilly will run rings around them.
I fancy us against any of the teams at Parkhead. Honestly, I fancy it
Aye.
strongly.
Group D
I
was
think we
the
could beat
only
Real
one.
Madrid at Parkhead.
I think Rio Hatate versus Gail Platt for Coronation Street. It's no brainer who's winning that.
Mind what he done to Scotland and the Euros.
He's what a world class player he is. I seen a
He's
comment the other day
wonderful.
actually fact, was it yesterday? And Ancelotti, it was a press conference with Ancelotti, and he said, I don't actually know how old he is now, 36, 38 or something like that. And Ancelotti said he'll be playing when he's beyond 40. I'm not letting him. I'll be forcing him to sign a contract because he's an absolute Rolls Royce player. And it doesn't matter how old he is, he'll still be playing for us. He'll be playing well into his 40s if I'm in charge of Real Madrid. And I was like, well. And it was interesting because we did our World 11 recently, and I don't think Modric was even mentioned, and he should have been, because
I think he was brought up. I think he was mentioned as he won
a Ballon d'Or only 2 or 3 years ago.
Modric was unreal.
Game dates, fellas.
Aye.
Kevin Gallagher's in there. Very condensed space of time. But John, just to kind of round us off, fantastic feeling.
How's there only 5 dates there?
Oh, leave Kevin alone. He's trying his best, Ross. Come on, don't be coming on like that. But how you feeling, John?
I'm buzzing, man. Like you said, as we discussed at the start, as the teams are being drawn in pot 4, you see all the groups almost in their entirety, and then you've got your favourites, but ones you want and all that. So it just adds to the excitement of the draw being made, and then I think we're all just like, for me, it was Group D, just because I really, really wanted Sporting. But in terms of chances of getting through and qualifying, Group D certainly seemed, on paper anyway, an easier group. But like you mentioned, I think we all were excited about the possibility of getting Real Madrid, and Real Madrid, that tie is absolutely incredible. And like William said as well, Shakhtar and Leipzig are a great team. Shakhtar aren't no slouches either, but I'm confident we could get. I think we could get 9 points out of that group easy. Not easy, but there's 9 points in that group for us, I think, and there's every chance we can qualify. So I'm excited by it, man, and I think the Real Madrid tie is going to be incredible.
Yeah, and you brought up
if not a bit frightening.
Yeah, what you thought of what we could achieve, and we spoke about it previously. But now we see the group, William. Now we know the teams that are going to be against us, home and away here: Leipzig, Shakhtar, Real Madrid. Quietly confident we can maybe nick a point off Real Madrid, especially. But what are your hopes for this Champions League campaign?
Like I said at the start, this is exactly the sort of group I wanted. I think there is a chance of second place in there, and I think a bare minimum should be third place. We should be looking at that, and I think Ange will be saying that to the team as well. I don't think he's going to go into any tie fearing anybody. So, I don't even know. So I just looking forward to getting stuck in it now. We're back in the elite. We're playing the best teams in the world. But right now, we might be looking back on this in about 8 weeks' time and saying, "What were you slaving?" But that's a good point. I reckon 5-7 points, you're getting third spot anyway, and I think we should be getting 6 points at home anyway, and then let's see what else we can do. And I really fancy us. Honestly, I just think the football that we're playing now, and I know we're not tested against the best at the moment. I know, but just the football we're playing, and the intensity and the pressing, and we're rampant, and it's just non-stop. I just think that there's goals in our team, and I know we could leak goals. I'll be getting you a pint, Jed. Don't worry.
I'm not getting you one, Jed.
What was I saying there? Can't even remember what I was saying.
We'll get goals.
We'll get goals. And I know at the other end we're not as shored up as other teams, and it's likely that we'll concede. But I just reckon there's goals for everywhere in this team, and if you've got that, you've got a chance against anybody. And I really, really, really honestly think we're going to pull up a few surprises this year. And if we get to the knockouts, that's just nuts. It's madness.
I think as well, Ross, you spoke about it before the draw was made, about like your feelings and being anxious getting into it, thinking about Ange's tactics, and that's fair to say. But now you see the teams, it doesn't really strike fear into me. I know Real Madrid are a world-class outfit. I mean, Champions League winners, you can't even say anything about them. Ancelotti won Coach of the Year there, but it doesn't really frighten me, the prospect. I'd be confident Postecoglou's sticking to that style, kind of attacking football. If we're up against like a Juventus, a PSG, maybe you would talk about it more, kind of altering the play and trying to stick with that. But now you see the teams, are you more confident than you were before?
Aye, and I know Real Madrid they've just won the Champions League, but I look at it in the sense, if we were playing like a PSG or even a Bayern Munich, I'll be more worried playing against them than I would Real Madrid,
Mhm.
purely because they play a faster pace. They're all go all the time. Real Madrid build it up a bit slower for the back. I think we could cope with that better. Obviously, we'll be pushing up the park. If they play a bit slower, it allows us to drop back, sort of, and get into a shape. I mean, they're still a very, very good team, the best in Europe, you could say, if you go by the fact that they won it. But I honestly think that we could beat Real Madrid at Parkhead. I really do believe that. And if we beat
Yeah,
Real
so do
Madrid
I.
at Parkhead, if that's match day one, if we
Aye.
can manage to get a result against them at Parkhead and they're maybe just not quite at it because it's early in the season, you're hoping. There's a lot of factors, do you know what I mean? But if we could take 3 points for that game, the confidence that we'll take for that going into the next two home games against what you would have to say is lesser opposition, it fills you with confidence. But again, you have to caveat it with the fact that they're very, very difficult games. Thanks very much.
100%.
Can I just say as well, this is exactly what I was talking about in my wee rant at the start. Say, for example, it was Lennon's team and he was still in charge and you went on this. Would you be feeling as confident as going to Madrid? As you
No.
This is what I'm talking about with Ange and his mentality, what he's brought to this squad, and the relationship he's built with us as fans for the team as well to get behind them. Everything's positive. Every one of us, we'll and yes, you're allowed to question the manager, but the majority say I'll trust Ange implicitly in what he does because everything he's touched has turned to gold so far. This is what he's done to us. We're sitting now. See, a year and a half ago, if you told me we were playing Real Madrid, I'd have been like, Jesus Christ. Now we're talking about we'll do them at Parkhead. Of course we will. That's the
we've got every
mentality
chance,
that Ange has brought to us as a club, and we're back on top again. Scottish football's on the rise. We're playing the world's best, the European champions. I cannot wait.
Yeah, and John, you were going to say something there. You're itching here to get in. What are you going to say?
No,
Oh,
I'm just adding to the conversation. First of all, I just want to again thank Shay. Shay, thank
Yeah,
you very much
Shay.
for becoming a member. For anybody else wondering what the hell that even is, for 99p a month, you can become a member. You get a couple of emojis. I actually added a new one. The Celtic crest is now available as an emoji that you can use. So, thanks, Shay. Listen, it's a small amount of money, and I know times are tough, but it means a great deal to us. Also, wow.
So like,
and can I just say to everybody that's in as well, we actually just a second ago it's dropped down now just below 90, but we just hit 92 viewers, which is the most we've ever had on this podcast. So to everybody that's tuned in at the minute, listen, thank you very, very much.
Strips.
Monty, I'm just going to answer this now. This is the San Antonio Spurs. I'm a big basketball fan. I've been a Spurs fan since I was like 9 or 10-year-old. So that's what this is, just to get that out of the way, because I know you've asked a couple of times and I've not actually ignored you. But all right, listen, just going back to the draw. Thanks, Donny. I appreciate that, mate. Going back to the draw, listen, like Ross and that, you like you said, historically anyway, I mean, Real Madrid, what can you say? They've won it more times than anybody else. They're the current holders. They're going to be probably the toughest team to beat. One of the toughest teams to beat anyway. But like you said, they've started historically anyway. They've started relatively slowly. Like Sheriff Tiraspol's got a result. They've got a scalp against them. Shakhtar done it recently as well. Traditionally, they don't start the group stages particularly well. So if we can get them early, and especially at home, then I absolutely don't see any reason why we can't get a result against them, even if it's a draw. Like a point against Real Madrid is phenomenal. Like if you're looking at it on paper, you're probably thinking, right, getting anything against Real Madrid is going to be a tough ask. But for Shakhtar at home, I definitely think there's 3 points for us there. Away, given the fact that they're not at home, it's going to be a neutral ground for both sides. I think plays to our advantage as well, because again, it's not a ground that they're going to be used to playing in. And Leipzig are no slouches. Leipzig are a very tough team. A trip to Germany is always great. Germany's amazing away day. I think at home as well. Listen, I think there's at least. I think looking at it, if I'm being honest with myself, I think, and no being disrespectful to the teams, but there's 6 points in Shakhtar and at least 3 Leipzig at home. So I think there's about 9 points in it for us. Any more than that would be incredible. But less than that's no bad either. If we can still get out of that group and with however many points it takes, because as we've seen last year, even in Europa League, 9 points doesn't guarantee you qualification. But if we can get something out of that group, then fantastic. But if we can do enough to get third and we drop into the Europa knockouts, then listen, I'm confident that this current team under Ange is going to surprise a few teams in Europe. I think people are looking far too much and putting too much premise on how we performed in the Europa League stages earlier last season, forgetting again that it was early days under Ange. The team was still adjusting to that style of play. The team wasn't fully fleshed out. I said this earlier on. We never had the players that we have now. We've strengthened considerably since then, and we're playing far better collectively now than we were then. And even at that, we still got 9 points. We still gave a decent account of ourselves, and we still scored goals. And I think that's going to be the same again going forward.
There's Benzema just gone up to get the Player of the Year last year in the Champions League, and he's about to get a fight with Mercedes-Benz having him in his back pocket this season.
They're going to wait. I want to see. Are they going to ask him about the draw?
No, I don't.
And what do you think about this draw, Benzema? Who are you looking forward to playing?
Celtic.
Why go to Celtic Park?
I don't know. Mercedes-Benz had me in his back pocket.
You brought up a great point in terms of gents playing in the Champions League. I think this is going to be a great marker to see actually this squad, how far it's came. And I think John's right. We can't really look to what happened last year. We did get 9 points, didn't qualify, fair enough. But new season, new group stage, Champions League football. Who are you excited to see most in the Champions League play for us, obviously?
At this moment in time, Jota is by head and shoulders the best player in the league. Never mind in our team. I'm looking forward to him seeing it light
exactly,
it up.
Brian.
And we've got it's the depth for me. I just think we're far better equipped. If Kyogo's doesn't do the business, then we've got Big GG on the bench that's going to do the business if he doesn't start. I just think we've got quality options in each area. And I just think we're in a far stronger position now than we were last season in Europe. And the football we're playing, the more we play it, the more the players are getting used to Angie's style. and I really, I know we started the season well, and I know it's not anywhere near the level that we're going to, but I love the fact that Angie's style is high press and we never stop, and I don't think that'll change. I don't think it matters who we play. He's going to go and try and win the tie. And I know we've had exceptional nights as fans, and probably the biggest is against arguably the greatest club team that's ever graced God's green earth in Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
But let's face it, that night it wasn't great football to watch, and we took our chances well, and it'll live in folklore, and the possession stats and all the stats, and Ange won't do that. He'll go to win the game rather than setting up not to lose it. And I think it's just exciting times, and I can't wait to see it all unfold.
Yeah. It does be, as you rightly said, they're like the likes of Jada, Maeda, Kyogo, playing their trade against the best defences that football can offer in terms of that competition. And we know another player, Ross, is going to be involved in it. It's Haksabanovic, the new signing today, on a 5-year contract from Rubin Kazan. Another player to throw into the mixer for attacking options. Me personally, I'm looking forward to seeing Jada against the right backs and left backs, because he did a bit of damage in the pre-season games against the English clubs, albeit at a different level, of course, but he just seems to have took his game on again. His assists, his goals have been smashing this season. Kyogo in behind. It's just great. And I know we're thinking about the defence, and you rightly said at the start of the show, you're a wee bit more anxious and stuff in case, not going to do it, but teams kind of run over the top of us because they'll have more of the ball. But in your opinion, who are you excited to see and why as well?
Well, I mean, you alluded to Jota there. I totally agree. I think he's absolutely made for this stage. I think we all know eventually he won't go on to bigger in terms of club, but he'll go into probably better things in terms of getting into the latter stages of this tournament, maybe with another club. I think he's destined to go to the very, very top, Jota. Just his games, he's made for it. And I can't mind who's commenting. I think it was Chris D, maybe, saying about Gigi is made for this. Big Giacomakis.
Yeah,
I totally agree. I think that Ange Kyogo's his favourite. For me, Gigi, I would play every bit as much as Kyogo. Obviously, Haksabanovic, that was hard for me to say, has came in. And he can, by all accounts, he can play through the middle. I think he's going to get the number 9 jersey. Did I see you saying that earlier, Willie?
It's going to
He
kill
is the
me.
number 9.
A winger's got to be wearing number 9. Kills me, man.
He could play through the middle at some point. I think at home he'll probably start with Kyogo. Another one I'm looking forward to seeing it on this stage. But Gigi, I think he'll put the fear of death into defences when he comes on later on in the game. I think he'll be a brilliant asset. But the one thing that it's going to all boil down to is if everybody stays fit. Because if they don't, I know we have got great options and we've got a really good depthy squad. But if we go into, I don't know, if we're saying like there's winnable ties, if we go away to Shakhtar Donetsk and we've maybe got, I don't know, Haksabanovic and Gigi out, for instance, and we've only got Kyogo to turn to and maybe a Yeti, then it's tough, it's difficult. But it's just, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be real.
No.
I'm no negative in this pod at all.
No,
ever.
I think you make great points, Ross. Because I think with Europe last year, everybody kind of gets on our back a wee bit last year because we weren't very successful in Europe. But that's another fair point. There was one point every other week somebody was going down with a hamstring injury and they were out for 4 weeks, and we were missing a lot of players. So you make an absolutely valid point there, 100%.
But if everybody's fit and we're firing, I'm confident going into every single game as a Celtic supporter. I'm always confident going into every single game, but I'm confident going into every single game as a Celtic supporter. There'll be the element of trepidation, but you always believe that you can win every game, especially the way this team plays football. I think it's probably the best footballing Celtic side that I've seen since Tommy Burns, since he managed. But obviously they didn't quite make that next day. They're playing against a really strong Rangers, we have to say. But in terms of the way football, you expect football to be played, Celtic are doing that right now.
Yeah, 100%. I think Frank Brennan comes in with his ever lovely positive self.
I know, Frank
last season.
Endlessly positive. 9 points in the Europa League was more than the other team got, and we didn't go through. So, I mean, 9 points in any European competition is a decent return. So,
100%.
It's not shite.
But John, one thing I know you're looking forward to seeing is Vinicius Junior for Real Madrid up against Gregory at left back. But because obviously that running joke with Gregory Taylor for European competition. But what are you looking forward to seeing? I mean, I think that the guys who made great points, Jada, Maeda, Kyogo, even Giacomakis as well, coming on there.
I think Giacomakis is going to be pivotal. Kyogo is going to be pivotal. Dyson's going to play a massive role in Europe. I've said that. I think when I said this as well previously in the last time I was on, when you're playing against teams in Scotland and you're pressing them that high for that duration, you in terms of actual space to move is limited because you're in the final third of the pitch, and I don't think that plays to Dyson's strengths. I think Maeda's we're going to see much more of Maeda if you're taking advantage of his pace and he's got space to move. And against the likes of Real Madrid and Leipzig and stuff like that, teams aren't going to sit back against us. They're going to push. They're going to press us as well, especially in Europe, and they're going to leave themselves open. So I think that Dyson's going to play a pivotal role in that sense because I think we can definitely utilize his pace on the wings. But I think everybody's going to play their part, man. We know we've got goals out of that team. We've got with the likes of Jens, Vickers at the back as well. We've got two solid centre halves. We just need to rely on the likes of Taylor and Juranovic, who's likely going to be the starter to ensure that they're not leaving themselves with too much today. Because if listen, like you say, Taylor's going to hit a tough time, as any defender is actually. But everybody's going to need to be on their game coming up against these teams, and you can't give teams like that far too much space, and you can't give them too much. You can't give them too much of the ball. So, I'm really, really looking forward to it. I think it's a fantastic draw for us. We've got every chance of actually qualifying for the group as well. Listen, I think Hart's going to come up big in these big games as well, and I think we're going to see the best of him. But it was the same way. Like Foster was relatively unproven. Well, it was unproven in Europe when he came to us, and look what he done, and he made his mark. Gordon as well. They had these moments, and listen, these are all big keepers, and they come up big when they're needed. So I think Joe's got the experience in that, and I think he's going to be massive for us. Listen, like everybody else, he's going to need to be like fully alert and on top of everything. But aye. Absolutely.
There's a point here, and I know we kind of touched on it earlier about how there's a plan A and a plan B and all that sort of stuff, and there's not, because Ange and his style. But
nobody said it was, Frank.
No, they did not. Just because like a change in formation or a change in style doesn't necessarily be needed for a plan B. I think we've got that.
I'm starting to think that Frank might be at the wind-up.
I think that you don't need to change the formation or style to have a plan B, and I think it's evident in our two main strikers. If there's teams going to press us and get high up the pitch, Kyogo's movement's second to none, and on the counter, we've seen it. I know it's a totally different, like Frank said, it's not the same standard, but we've seen how Kyogo can get in behind with a high press. He scored 2 goals against Hibs doing it in the cup final, and his movement's spectacular. If that's not working and it's something else we need, you put your other striker on who does he bullies defenders and does the dirty work, and if you get balls in the box, only needs one touch and he's going to score. You don't necessarily need to change the style or formation to have a plan B as per se.
Yeah.
One change in personnel changes the whole dynamic of the game, and I think that's a massive thing for us this year especially, and it's shown in the league games so far. Everybody's clambering a bit now and saying that Kyogo, I would start GG, I'd start Kyogo. Listen, Kyogo's starting every game now and scoring, and then he's getting subbed off with 20 minutes to go, and you can't what GG's doing. He's coming on and scoring. Why you want to change that? Let's all just enjoy it.
Absolutely.
100%.
What about Stephen? What about yourself? What's your thoughts on our chances and like the group itself and stuff?
Who the fuck made you host?
It was my fucking idea for the show.
although I do appreciate you asking me, Ross, because the other two didn't bother or fucking arses. So thanks very much.
I stopped caring about your opinion ages ago, mate.
Well. I honestly think we'll have a chance. Whether it's for second place might be outside of our control, obviously, but definitely third place should be an aim and should be a possibility. Leipzig, from what I've seen last year against the team across the city, weren't that impressive. Shakhtar Donetsk are like old foes for us in Europe. We've played them on numerous occasions, and we've had good victories and bad defeats, so that's kind of a mixed bag. The one I'm really looking forward to is obviously Real Madrid. Does the go to the Bernabeu, hearing the anthem, watching, as you said, the boys playing in that black jersey would be incredible. And Stevie Boy comes up with another one there, 6 points at home and a draw away. There's 7, so that's to secure some sort of European football. But the big aim, Ross, would be second place because I think it's achievable. But the one I'm looking at thinking it's kind of concrete would be third place, because I think we can definitely achieve European football after Christmas. Like, I think that's a possibility for us. And with this team, as you already said, William made a great point there. With different avenues to go down, if a team's pressing, if a team's sitting, Gigi to rough up the centre backs, Kyogo to make the runs, Maeda and Jada on the wings, Haksabanovic at number 10. The possibilities are endless. Endless Celts, get it? No, but
what about what's your like? Always, I'm not trying to take over hosting here, by the way. No, I'm just thinking about. Obviously, I think Kyogo's going to play at home. Well played, Stephen. I think Kyogo's going to play at home. I think that's, as Wally said, he's playing at home now, or he's starting now all the games, and Giacomakis is coming on. But just always, do you think that going away from home, do you think maybe Giacomakis would be a better option to start, and I know that we don't want to change the way Andrew said it. He doesn't want to change the way he's got to play, but away from home, it's highly likely we won't have as much of the ball. It's difficult to keep the ball. You just need that somebody to hold it up. Giacomakis will do that better than Kyogo for me. I'll go to you first, Stephen.
I mean, I think we just witnessed my demotion on the podcast there from host to shit. So
I know, put it back up. I'm totally taking a beamer, man.
No, but I get what you're saying. I mean, GG can be effective. It's all about that play the fixture, isn't it? Instead of obviously sticking to a certain style. So you have to come up with different plans. I think Madrid at the Bernabeu would be cause for maybe GG up front against their centre backs and things to hold the ball up, bring others into play, because he's really improved that side of his game for me. At Parkhead, Kyogo has to start because you need to be on the front foot. We can't be seen to be sitting back all the time and trying to scrape for a point, or as we always say, we don't want to make up the numbers and just be there because we're happy to be there and see the bright lights of Champions League football. So I think there needs to be an element of us going for it at home. We need to make it a fortress again. We've spoken about that before. Bring back that intimidated atmosphere, not the tourist attraction the Celtic Stadium is becoming for fans to go to and say, oh, this is the best atmosphere in the world. We need to back it up with numbers again, back it up with wins, make teams afraid to come to us and play our game, stamp our authority on it. Just be Celtic Football Club. And as Ange always says, we never stop. He rightly said in a press conference, I don't know if it's today or the previous day, that he's going to obviously go back and look at this to see if it made an impact. And he wants everyone in European football, regardless of the results, to know the Celtic Football Club are back again. We've made an impact in European football. We're challenging. We're not getting scudded 7-1, 8-1. We're there taking players on. And I think it's just a fantastic prospect to see, Ross. And I'll throw it over to Willie. What do you think?
Aye.
I totally agree. Ross always says it, and you've mentioned it there. It's about playing the fixture, and I don't necessarily think that. I don't necessarily think even at home that it's a matter of we're at home, so we're playing Kyogo to get in the front foot. I think Giacomakis can press as well and do what he does best. I just think it's a matter of what he thinks is best suited, and I think he's doing that in the league. I think the biggest thing for us in Europe this season is going to be how we start, and it's been the same in the league this season. If we get an early goal, we just seem to be right in the back here, and we're rampant, and it's just non-stop. I think if we start well in these games and get an early goal, then we'll be a force to be reckoned with. But like we say, it's just great to have these options, and we're talking about. I think against the high press, I think Kyogo's great because he can get in behind, and Gigi's so well rounded. He can do everything. To be fair, I think if you're playing him, it's just great to have these options. I'm just so excited to see what we can do. I honestly think we can be a real force. And I think we're sitting talking, and we've watched it last season and the beginning of this season, and Ross has alluded to it, and I agree with him. I think this is the best football I've seen at Celtic Park since the Tommy Burns years, and I just think that we can go with the confidence. There should be no fear. And to be fair, there should be no fear because there's not much expected of us from the outside. There's no much expected of us. We've nothing to lose, so go for it. Let's go and attack these teams and have a real go. And to be fair to Rodgers, I know we're taking a few poundings, but he had a go as well. That Man City game, a 3 each game.
That was brilliant. We
weren't sitting taking any. He had a real go as well. So, but I don't think we're as naive as we were back then. I don't think we'll take trouncings like that. So I'm just super excited to see what we can do. And
what I mean by that, sorry, Willie. What I mean by that, Merle, is I think he's good at flicking on, not necessarily holding it up and kind of taking the test, but winning the flick ons, winning the high balls.
He would do that job better. Yeah, he would do that job better than Kyogo. Is all we're sort of saying. He's absolutely not just a hold up player.
No, 1,000,000%. Kyogo's he's literally you can't do that with Kyogo. He'll never win any battles, never against anybody, even against the shortest centre halves. So if that's what you're looking to play,
didn't beat me.
If that's how you're looking to play, then he shouldn't even be on the bench. To be fair, because that's not his game. But the fact that we've got these different options, and I just think John's alluded to it there as well. Thanks, Ryan, mate. Appreciate that. I think Maeda is going to be massive for us in the Champions League this year. The way he plays and the fact that we've not got wingers like in the past, McGady's and stuff like that, who on they can change a game in an instant, but going back the way they do nothing. Maeda's just unbelievable. And I think he's going to be massive for us this year. Massive. I just think the team as a whole, we talk about it, it's no individuals, it's a team as a collective. We never stop. We're going to keep going. We'll press everybody, we'll attack everybody, we'll score goals. It's just about what happens the other way.
I was trying to temper it, for God's sake.
But John, I think your mic is muted, buddy. What do you have to say about the whole Gigi and Kyogo away from home, or who would you start?
Listen, they've both got their own strengths, and like I agree with what William was saying there about Giakoumakis away, holding up the ball. Certainly is something that we could take advantage of in Europe going forward. But at the same time, it's like Kyogo's pace, his movement can cause guys. I think he'll cause defenders problems as well. And if they like say an O'Reilly or a Turnbull, if he gets any minutes, Kalmak, Hatate, whoever it is that's sort of playing in that central role, or if anybody can find a through ball for him and he can get onto it, then I think if he drops the shoulder, he'll turn people, no bother. I think he showed against earlier in the season as well, like the kind of ball, if you get a long ball at the tap against Betis, he can take a touch, he can bring it down, he can score. So I think they've both got their strengths, and I think regardless of who you start with, I think that it's you can play to their strengths in either case. And I would say that even knowing, like, let's say Giakoumakis starts and Kyogo's on the bench, see bringing Kyogo on with 30 minutes to go, with fresh legs, that's a problem. See bringing Giakoumakis on with 30 minutes to go with fresh legs, that's a problem. Especially if you've got a lead and you need somebody to kind of just hold the ball up a wee bit more, and you know what, because I know we try to play through balls, you're a wee bit more susceptible to maybe losing possession. But Giakoumakis can certainly hold the ball and bring folk into the game. So I'm happy with either or in terms of who starts.
And not just there, by the way, all over the park. We've talked about it. This is what I'm talking about with Ange and how he's building this squad. If you've got, and my idea, and no, everybody's going to turn up every game. Messi doesn't turn up every game. Ronaldo doesn't turn up every game. Like there's games that they're just not. It's just no. They're no suited, or it's just no. They're no on it. I mean, if you're bringing a Bado off the bench or Turnbull or whoever else it is, it's not. We're not replacing, and it's a level below. We're replacing like for like, and these guys are just as good as each other. And it's the best squad. It's easily the best squad we've had since even O'Neill, I would say, honestly.
Yeah,
and even then, O'Neill had a very good first 11. It wasn't massively great behind it. As squad depth goes, it's as good as any I've seen at Celtic Park.
Right.
Yeah,
and by the way, I think that, like, you look at the team, you look at the squad, the way they're playing now, and like on paper, if you like, I think we all know we've got really top players now. But at the end of the day, they've been doing it domestically. The challenge now is to go into that next level, and as soon as they cross that white line in the Champions League against these big teams, and the fans are going mental, and the Champions League tune is playing, they have to then go and perform.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if they don't perform and they have a Bodo Glimt, then we could be in trouble. But we've got 6 goes at it. Let's get 3-4 of them right.
100%, man. I think we are 1 hour and 38 minutes in, and I think you summed that up perfect, Ross. Just have a go at them. Be Celtic and just, do you know what I mean? Try and score goals. Like, that's the aim of it, and win games and get points. It's a fantastic group. And just to recap a few things for the viewers who have stuck with us this long, I appreciate it. We're sitting at 58.9 live, which is fantastic. We are taking part as a podcast in the Football Content Awards. If you want to vote for us, the links are on our social media pages and the Endless Celts Podcast page. To do so, all you have to do is look for the best new content creator and type in Endless Celts Podcast. Agree to the terms and conditions and then click vote now. And then tomorrow night on the podcast is myself, our very own Super 6 leader, Francis Carty, and the first Fear Takeover tomorrow night. I'm actually buzzing for it. Kaiser will be joining us from 8 o'clock tomorrow evening on YouTube. And to recap again, the group for the Champions League draw is Real Madrid, Leipzig, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Celtic Football Club. And that concludes the Endless Celts podcast for this evening. Have you enjoyed this one, guys?
Buzzing.
Excellent.
Aye, love it.
I loved it when I loved Ross's hosting.
Ross was superb hosting the night, mate.
Can't believe there was a sub midway through that podcast. Absolutely madness. But, hey,
but by the way, we all come on, we all ken our jobs, and it's seamless.
Exactly. And it's a team game. It's a collective. It's a collective, like Ange says. Seamless.
Yeah.
Aye, so
100%.
I echo what Stephen says as well. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in. We hit 90 plus viewers today, which is the most we've ever done. I thought it was a fantastic episode. I think the draw's been great, and I think it's going to be great going forward. As for the Football Content Awards, we qualify for Best New Content Creator. So if you do like the podcast and you want to leave a vote, the link is on our socials, blah blah. But it's also in the description. It might not be there now, but if you refresh the page, you'll see it. And again, just follow the instructions like Stephen says.
I don't even know what it is.
What
You've
is
been working all day.
That thing you're talking about getting voted on.
You've been working all day, mate. You missed
Don't
it.
worry about it. You've been huffing fumes, pain
Was
fumes.
it in the group, like? Was it in the group?
It's in the group.
Aye.
That'd be
That
one
was
of the
100
180 odd messages he didn't read.
108 messages. I was like,
And-
nope. Bye.
And also, we've got, like we say, we're all buzzing for this viewer takeover starting tomorrow. Minding if you want to come on, get in contact with us and come on. And we've got in the next one lined up. He's in the chat tonight as well, so he'll be coming along next. But and I think we've got 2 lined up. But I'm not going to. We'll
Is that Alistair? Is he nailed in yet? He said he was one.
Don't know, mate. I think I don't know if we're going
I
to
think
announce anything
we've
now,
got. What are we talking about? The viewer takeover.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye. So it's Kaiser.
Yep.
Monty's coming on. Ross is
Jed's coming
definitely
on.
on that episode.
Jed's coming on next. Jed's in the chat, so he's going to be coming on next as well.
Alistair Jack.
So we'll get you all on, but we need more. So just keep them coming in. Get in
just
contact
reach
with
out.
us. We'll get you all on. I'm really looking forward to this whole section of the show. I think it's great because, like Stephen always says, we've kind of built this community in here and in the chat nowadays,
Yeah.
and your guys' opinions on here are as effective as ours. You're always in
Right.
and giving us your opinions, and that's what we like. And we love debating, so we love different opinions. And I'm really looking forward to this whole segment. So just get in contact. We've got a few lined up, but I'm looking forward to seeing how that unfolds.
100%. Well, he rounded off. There's fucking 2 hosts on tonight. 3. Everyone's hosting. We're all taking a shot at it, but it's been a fantastic podcast. And until tomorrow at 8 o'clock when we're joined by Kaiser for the first viewer takeover, stay well and keep safe. I'm a Gabriel Madrid.
Yes.